Hello friends, you are watching the channel SP EduPoint. In this video, you will be learning about a very interesting and scoring topic which is circles. So let's begin and here you go. Now, you all can see two things on your screen and I know you all are familiar with these two things. First one is the clock and second one is the plate. But my first question to you all is, can you identify a similarity in between these two things? Yes, it's a circle. Now, the next question that will pop up into your mind will be how to define a circle. So a circle is the collection of points in a plane which are at a fixed distance from a fixed point in the plane. Next, I will be discussing about some of the terminologies related to circle. As you can see in the diagram, I will be discussing all of these terms. So the first term of the circle is center. A center is a fixed point inside the circle from which all the distances to the points on the circle are equal. That means a fixed point lying inside the circle is equidistant from all the points lying on the circle. I have marked 4 points A, B, C and D. So the fixed point will be equidistant from all the points on the circle. So my AO will be equal to BO and so on, because center is a fixed point inside the circle and it is equidistant from all the points lying on the circle. I hope this is clear to everyone. Next we have is the radius. Radius is the fixed distance from the center of the circle to any point on the circle is the radius. So as you can see in the diagram, I have taken a point on the circle P and I have marked the center as O. So the distance from the point O to P is the radius, and the radius is equal throughout the circle. If I take another point on the circle as P, so distance between OP will be equal to OP, because center lies equidistant to all the points on the circle. And after the radius we have is the circumference. Circumference is nothing but the length of the complete circle. And you must have already learned about the formula to calculate the circumference, which is 2 pi r. So next we have is the chord. Chord is a very important term related to circle, because in exams also many of the questions will be framed on this term. So students carefully understand what is the meaning of it. And basically, the chord is the line segment joining the 2 points on the circle. Now you can see in the diagram I have drawn a circle and marked 2 points on the circle as P and Q. So the line segment joining these 2 points will be the chord. Please listen carefully that chord is the line segment. The endpoints of the line segment must lie on the circle. Now my question to all the students is, will be the radius, can I say the radius is a chord? Can I say radius of a circle is a chord? Yes or no? The answer is no, because the endpoints of the line segment is not lying on the circle. So the radius is not a chord. So after the chord, the next term we have is the diameter. Diameter, as you can see in the diagram, I have marked 2 points on the circle P and R, and the center is denoted by O. So the line segment joining the 2 points P and R and also crossing through the center is known as diameter. The next important thing about diameter is, can I say that diameter is the chord of the circle? Yes, because we have just learned about the chord, that chord is a line segment whose endpoints lie on the circle. So diameter is the longest chord of the circle and it divides the whole circle into two equal parts. And the halves are known as the semicircle. The third thing about the diameter is always twice of the radius. Why? You can see in the diagram that distance between O and R is the radius, and also the distance between the point O and P is radius. So OP will be equal to OR. So can I write diameter will be equal to twice OP? So remember this, diameter is always twice of radius. The next thing about the circle is that circle divides the whole plane in three parts, that is circle, interior part and exterior part. To understand it, suppose the green color background is the plane and I have drawn a circle on this plane. So the area or the part of the plane lying outside the circle is said to be the exterior part, and the area which is inside the circle is known to be the interior part of the plane, and third one is the circle itself. So the region including the circle and interior part is known to be the circular region. So after this we have arc, and arc is also an important terminology related to circle. So basically arc is a piece of circle between 2 points. To make you understand a bit more about arc, there is a circle and I have marked 3 points on the circle P, R and Q. And then if I cut this circle from the points P and Q, I will get two parts of the circle. One marked in blue color and second part which is marked in the red color. So you can see the length of the blue part is more than the red one. So the part which is in blue will be the major arc because it is longer length, and the arc which is in smaller length PQ will be the minor arc, and we denote the arc with this symbol. The last term about the circle is sector. Sector is nothing but the region between an arc and the two radii joining the center to the endpoints. What does this mean? So we have two arcs, one with the highlighted in red color and one with the blue color. So blue one is the major arc and minor arc is represented in red color. So if I join the endpoints of the minor arc with the center, the region of the circle inside this will be the minor sector, and the major arc corresponds to the major sector. Students, now I will make you understand some of the theorems based on chord of a circle. So the first theorem says equal chords of a circle subtend equal angles at the center. So what is given to us is that we have two chords of equal length. So I have constructed a circle and drawn two chords of equal length. So I have marked the two chords as AP and PQ. And what we need to prove is that angle AOP is equal to angle POQ. To prove this, I need to do certain construction. So I have joined the two endpoints of the chord with the center O. You can see these line segments, dotted line segments. I have to construct these line segments to prove the angles are equal. So now if you carefully observe, we have two triangles, triangle AOP and triangle POQ. The first triangle and the second triangle. So we need to prove that these two triangles are congruent, and for that, in triangle AOP and POQ, the first thing I can say is OA is equal to OP. Why? Because the line segment joining the center to the point on the circle is the radius. So the radius throughout the circle remains the same. So OA will be equal to OP. And similarly, OB will be equal to OQ. The same reason, radius throughout the circle remains the same because the center lies with the lies at a fixed distance from the points on the center, or we can say center is the fixed point which is equidistant to all the points on the circle. Then third, we have it's given that the chords are of equal length, so AB will be equal to PQ. Now through SSS rule, now triple S rule, we can say that triangle AOB will be congruent to triangle POQ. Yes. So if these two triangles are congruent, then the corresponding parts of these two triangles will be equal. So corresponding parts of congruent triangle CPCT. CPCT means corresponding parts of congruent triangles will be equal. So I can say corresponding parts means these two angles will also be equal, similar. So hence we have proved that angle AOB will be equal to angle POQ because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. I think this is clear. So students, if this theorem is clear to you all, then please try to prove the converse of this theorem on your own and then check out the solution. So the converse of this theorem says if the angles subtended by the chords of a circle at the center are equal, then the chords are equal. So to prove that, it is given the angle AOP is equal to angle POQ, and we need to prove the chords are of equal length, that is AB is equal to PQ. So again I have to construct certain things. So I am joining the endpoints of the chord to the center. So in triangles AOP and triangle POQ, I need to prove that these two triangles are congruent. So the first thing is that the side OA of the triangle will be equal to OP. Why? Because these are the radius of a circle, and we know the radius throughout the circle remains the same. Similarly, OB will be equal to OQ because these are also the radii of the circle. And the third one is, it is given that angle AOP is equal to angle POQ. So by SAS rule, congruency rule, the triangles AOB will be congruent to each other. This is congruent symbol. So triangle AOB will be congruent to triangle POQ. So if these two triangles are congruent, then we can say that the corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. So AB will be equal to PQ. So one important thing I need to conclude is, if you need to prove a theorem, please construct two triangles. Try to construct two triangles and prove them congruent. So you will get to prove the two triangles congruent, and the rest of the parts of the triangles will be. So the third theorem we have is the perpendicular from the center of a circle drawn to a chord bisects the chord. Here the meaning of bisects is that a line segment is equally divided into two equal parts. So to prove this, I have drawn a circle and taken the center as O. Then I have drawn a chord AB and a line segment joining the center drawn to the chord bisects the chord, means the point of contact here M is equidistant from the two endpoints of the chord. So AM will be equal to BM. Now we need to prove OM is perpendicular to the chord AB. To prove this thing, I have constructed two line segments joining the end points of the chord to the center, which is marked with the dotted lines. Now if you carefully see, we have two triangles, triangle AOM and triangle BOM, which is this one. So in triangle AOM and triangle BOM, the very first thing I can say is the side OA will be equal to the side OB. Why? Because we have already proved this thing that the radius of a circle remains the same throughout the circle. Next, it is given to us that M is the midpoint of the chord AB. So AM will be equal to PM. Third thing, the side OM is common to both the triangles. So now by triple S congruency rule, I can say triangle AOM is congruent to triangle BOM. If these two triangles are congruent, then by CP, CT, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. CP, CT, I can write that angle AOM will be equal to angle BOM. So if the two angles are equal, so if you see that a straight line subtend 180 degree, the straight line subtend an angle of 180 degree. So this complete angle will be of 180 degree. The angle AOM plus angle POM will be equal to 180 degree. And we have proved that these two triangles are equal. So twice of angle AOM will be equal to 180 degree. And if one angle is of 90 degree, then other will be of 90 degree. So I have proved that angle AOM is equal to 90 degree. So that means the line segment OM is perpendicular to the chord AB. Once again go through these theorems